Life is a Marathon, session 86. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. This is a quick coaching tip. I want to just spend a couple minutes with you, 10 minutes at the most probably today, to talk about just a short subject that doesn't need a lot of time to unwind. My normal shows are 45 minutes to an hour long, but this is just a quick one. And so it is all delivered to you with the intention of helping you move on in your life, to get out of the rut that you may be in, whether you're in a rut emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, whatever it is that you've been doing over and over and over again, maybe for your entire life, that isn't getting you the results that you want out of your life. That's what I'm here for. Today is April 1st, and so this is not an April Fool's Day message, but April 1st represents something, doesn't it? April 1st represents the end, or rather the beginning, of the second quarter of 2015. And so with the end of March, the first 3 months are already gone. So guess what that means? That's right. It means that 25% of the year 2015 is already gone. So my question to you is, um, first of all, do you want this to be the best year of your life in whatever sense it is? Do you want to have the most success, the most fun, the most enjoyment, whatever it is that you want this year to be different than the previous years of your life? If that's the case, then my question to you is, what have you been doing for the last 3 months? And what are you going to start doing today to ensure that you get the life that you want? See, you don't have to just settle for the life that you get. And so many of us do. I did for so many years of my life. I just settled. I maybe had vague ideas, vague wishes for, wanting my life to be better. I wanted to have success in all of the areas of my life. I wanted the nice house, the nice car, the 2.5 perfect children who all got great grades, and the job that was just totally satisfying. I wanted those things. But if you said to me, well, Bruce, how are you going to get those things? I I would have said, well, isn't hoping good enough? And I've learned through my life that nope, hoping just is not going to cut it. So you've got to have a plan, and more so, you've got to take action. And I'm not talking about just taking action once or even twice or taking a seminar or listening to me talk. That's not going to get it there for you. I had this amazing conversation with Tom Ziegler on my previous show on episode 85 of the Life is Marathon podcast. Tom Ziegler is the son of the legendary motivational sales trainer, just an amazing guy, Zig Ziglar. And so I I loved Zig, and he was a huge inspiration in me becoming the person that I am. Now, I got exposed to Zig at a very, well, not young age, but I got exposed to him early in my career. So I was in my 20s when I first started to hear Zig's teaching. And then admittedly, I got sidetracked. I got into the what's in it for me mentality, that I've got to just go out and try to make as much money as possible or have as much things. So I was all about acquiring, and the focus was all on me. And I had a bunch of failures in my life. And so when I was trying to recover from those failures, it was still me grabbing at the things that I thought could make me feel better. And at no point was I really focused on serving. At no point, this show, I deliver this show for you. I don't do it for me. I guess in a roundabout way I do, but that's not the motive. I have learned that my sense of significance, my sense of true satisfaction comes from me helping you get what you want out of your life. And so when I get an email, when I get a tweet, or a Facebook post that says, Bruce, that thing that you said, last week on your show, it really spoke to me, or it was just the thing I needed to hear at that moment in my life. That's what gives me significance. Anyway, I digress. What I was getting to is in my conversation with Tom Ziglar, um, the son of Zig Ziglar, he made an amazing statement. He's following in his father's footsteps, so he's just a great guy. And he has this phrase, and he says the greatest thing that we can teach our kids is the discipline of creating winning habits. Because that's what it all boils down to. The reason that I was not consistently successful through my life was that I did not have consistent habits that would bring me the kind of success that I wanted. So there we struggled in the interview. We knew the quote, and so I have since looked it up. Tom and I were trying to figure out who it was that said it, and I know a lot of quotes, and I can usually come up with the right author, but I just couldn't on this one. But the quote is, "People do not decide their futures; they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future." And that's by F. Matthias Alexander. I could not come up with that when I was on the phone with Tom. But that's so true. We don't decide our futures. We may think we do. We may want the great house, the great marriage, the great kids. And we may even do things to move in those directions. We may have great intentions of parenting and teaching our kids the right things to do. We may, have sporadic success financially. We may get in initially a relationship that's really good. But if we don't have consistent habits to nurture that success, to bring more success, then that success is going to be short-lived. That's not what I want for you. That's what I had all my life. It's not what I want for myself anymore. So I have discovered the things that I need to do on a regular basis, and I make those my priorities, regardless of whether or not they're going to bring me the instant success. That's the other part of our culture is we live in this microwave. I want it now. If you don't respond to my text message in 60 seconds or less, then I get personally upset with that. That's just the world. And I don't, but that's the example that we've got this. I want immediate feedback. And so when I start talking about, well, if you start doing these things today, 5 years from now, it's going to start paying off. And most people I talk to, they don't want to hear 5 years from now. They might be willing to wait 5 days, but they want success. They want it right now. We want our perfect kids this week, not next month or 5 months from now, and certainly not 5 years from now. But that's really what it takes. So even Aristotle, so this idea of, having winning habits is not a new idea. Aristotle, we're talking thousands of years ago, said we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence. So he uses the word excellence rather than success. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. And so here's an idea. If you want this to be the best year of your life, let's suppose that you've got this idea of writing a book. I have a goal to write 3 books this year. I've got one of them that's almost ready. It's going to be ready within 2 weeks. And then I've got to get busy on the next ones. I've already started outlining them. But in order for me to get those books written, I have to write pretty much every single day. And so I have a goal. I have a habit of getting up, getting my boys off to school, and then getting myself settled, and I write for an hour or for an hour and a half if I don't have other things going on. But I try to do that every single day because that, I have learned, is the habit that's going to bring me the success that I want. And so if there's success that you want in a relationship, what are the things that you need to do every single day to nurture that relationship? It could be as simple as a hug and saying, I love you every day, and really meaning it every day. Okay, and that's hard to do, because we bump against each other and we rub each other the wrong way sometimes. But if it's really there and the desire is to have that amazing relationship, there are things that you need to be doing every single day to nurture it. And so what I like to do with the people that I'm coaching, what I want to do with you, is to get you to think about what is the final goal. Okay, so play the end game. You may have heard that phrase before. So figure out what it is that you want at the end of your life. So what do you want to, who do you want to be? I think is the most important thing. So what are the character qualities that you want to be known for, so that at the end of your life, you can look back over your life and say, I've lived well. I lived with integrity. I lived with character. I lived in such a way that lifted people up. I lived in such a way that added value to the lives of other people. So whatever it is, so those are just my examples. Live the end game. So think of yourself at the end of your life. What are the things at the end of your life that you want to be the most proud of? Okay? And then think about, what does that person, a person who has achieved that kind of success in those areas of life, what are some things that that person needed to have done repeatedly, consistently throughout their lives in order to achieve success in that area? Okay, so ask these questions. Who and what do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to have lived at the end of your life? And what needs to consistently happen to produce that? So guess what you've got when you go through that exercise? You've got a map. You've got a plan. You now know how to go about living your life. So if you can identify the things that can become habits, then start making them habits. And here's just another inside quick coaching tip. I have found that it is easier to create new habits than it is to spend energy trying to break old, maybe bad habits. So you may have a habit that is holding you back, whatever it is, if it's overeating or whatever. I don't need to rattle off the list of bad habits. We all have them. You know what your bad habit is. I know what mine are. Rather than focusing on the energy and say, well, I need to stop that, I need to stop that, you're still focusing your energy on that. Think about the things that you need to start, the good things, and start those habits. And my experience is with myself and with other people, as you start moving in the direction and spending intentional effort every single day, maybe even multiple times a day, doing the things that you want to do, that are going to bring you the kind of success that you want in your life, then you're spending more energy on those things. The bad habits kind of just take care of themselves, and they fade away over time. Okay, so there's your quick coaching tip. Be focused on what you want and take action. Thinking about it isn't just going to get it done, and occasional sporadic action is not going to get you the results that you want. It's habits, and not just any habit, okay? It's 'cause you are what you repeatedly do. And so if you're repeatedly doing the wrong thing, you're going to get that result, okay? So figure out, what are the winning habits. Like Tom Ziglar said in my show yesterday, he said, the greatest gift we can give our children is to give them the discipline, or teach them the discipline of creating winning habits. That's the key, winning habits. So there's your quick coaching tip of the day. I love you. I want you to have an amazing, amazing life, and I want you to develop the habits that will bring you the results that you want in life. I want to share with you a quick email that I got. I love email messages from you all. So whether it's via email, just use the contact form on my website at brucevanhorn.com or at the podcast website at lifeisamarathon.com, or you can send me a message over Facebook. So I'm on facebook.com/BruceVH. I love getting messages from you. So anyway, Michelle used the contact form at brucevanhorn.com. Michelle wrote, "Hi, Bruce. I just discovered your podcast about a month ago and fell in love with it immediately. I recently went through a difficult breakup and have found the podcast to be extremely helpful. I listen to the podcast every day on my commute to and from work, and it has definitely improved my life. I have always been a huge worrier and very hard on myself, and you are definitely teaching me to look at the events in my life with a different view. So thank you very much. You are a very inspirational person. My life already feels uplifted with positive inspiration and happiness. Much love, Michelle." Well, Michelle, thank you so much for that thoughtful and kind message. And again, this is I don't do my show with the goal of manipulating you to send me these messages. This is the fruit of me delivering content to you that I sincerely want to you to use in a way that lifts you up and moves you in the direction that you want to move in, so that you can have the life that you want rather than a life that you just settle for. Because after all, life is a marathon. So let's train for it.